Hello everyone, and welcome to our channel. Today we'll dive into a heartbreaking and shocking case, the story of Jessica Dishon, a 17-year-old girl from Shepherdsville, Kentucky. This case is not just about the loss of a family member, but also a clear example of investigative failures and the dark secrets hidden within the victim's own family. After a long 15 years, justice was finally served, but the wounds left on the family and the community remain unhealed. Join us as we explore the details of her background, the case's developments, and the lessons learned from this tragic story. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you won't miss any upcoming stories. Let's get started. Part 1. The victim's background. Jessica Dishon was born on May 2, 1982, in the town of Shepherdsville, Kentucky. She was an outstanding student at Bullitt Central High School and was described by her friends and family as an intelligent, responsible girl with dreams of becoming an accountant. Jessica lived in a loving family with her parents and two younger brothers. At the age of 17, she was enjoying life with bright plans for the future, such as buying a new car and spending time with her boyfriend. Her promising life, however, came to a tragic end on the fateful day of September 10, 1999. Part 2. The Jessica Dishon Case Timeline. 1. The day of disappearance.
Jessica, a senior at Bullitt Central, was found in the woods, strangled to death just 7 miles from her home. That was in 1999.
Jessica Dishon's murder remains unsolved. Anyone with information is urged to call the Bullitt County Sheriff's Department.
Every night I work, I go out there and hand those Justice Cross and pray for her to help us solve this case.
I want to find out who killed my daughter.
On the morning of September 10, 1999, 17-year-old high school student Jessica Dishon was getting ready to leave home for school. Everything seemed normal, but when her mother, Edna Dishon, returned home around 1 p.m., she noticed Jessica's new red car still parked in the driveway. This immediately worried her, as Jessica usually drove the car to school. Edna approached the car to investigate and discovered several unsettling details. Jessica's purse, backpack, and cell phone were all left inside. Even one of her shoes had been abandoned. Most disturbingly, the cell phone displayed the digits 91, suggesting that Jessica may have attempted to call for emergency assistance, but was interrupted. At this moment, Edna realized something terrible had happened. She quickly called her husband, Michael Dishon. When he returned home, the couple confirmed that Jessica was not at school and that no one in the family knew her whereabouts. They wasted no time in reporting the incident to the local police. 2. The police's initial response. Although the Dishon family was convinced that Jessica had been abducted, the police initially did not take the case seriously. They speculated that Jessica might simply be a teenager who had run away from home. This response deeply disappointed the family, forcing them to organize their own search efforts with help from the local community. One young officer, David Greenwell, was the only one who believed the case was serious. He personally took photographs and documented the scene, but he lacked the experience to handle the situation properly. The investigative shortcomings led to the crime scene being compromised, evidence contaminated, and many crucial details overlooked. 3. The search and discovery of the body, September 27, 1999. For 17 days after Jessica's disappearance, her family and the community worked tirelessly to search for her. Teams explored remote areas, especially near Salt River, a location often linked to concerning activities. During one search, Jessica's uncle, Stanley Dishon, displayed unusual behavior, claiming to feel unwell and asking to stop the search. It was later revealed that this might have been an attempt to divert attention, as Jessica's remains were found just half a mile away. On September 27th, a school bus driver discovered Jessica's remains in a remote area near Salt River. Due to the condition of the remains, identification was possible only through personal items like her ring, necklace, and dental records. Investigators determined that Jessica had been subjected to physical harm and tragically lost her life. The misguided investigation. After Jessica's body was discovered, police redirected their investigation toward the Dishon family's neighbor, David "Bucky" Brooks. He was considered suspicious due to behaviors such as burning clothes in his yard and providing inconsistent statements. However, no compelling evidence could be found to link him to the crime. During this time, the police made several critical mistakes, including failing to secure the crime scene, mishandling evidence, and neglecting to investigate other potential suspects thoroughly.
Yeah, we're getting ready to start our life over again. I didn't know what world to think was going on. I just didn't know what to do or nothing.
Brooks always maintained his innocence. His wife Irene remained by his side.
From day one, Mr. Spanar and Vince Eustace, Neil Aliotto sat at this very same table and looked at me and said, "We're going to bring him home."
Years after the crime, Jessica's family continued their pursuit of justice. They regularly appealed to the public through media outlets for information. However, the delays and errors in the investigation left the case at a standstill, with no significant leads being uncovered. The turning point, 2013.
The Bullitt County man charged with the murder of his 17-year-old niece appeared before a judge today. Stanley Dishon faces a new set of unrelated sex charges, sodomy and incest. WHAS 11's Brooke Hash joins us now from the newsroom with the latest. Brooke?
Well, Stanley Dishon did not speak at today's hearing. Instead, lawyers talked out consolidating the sex charges against him into one trial, which is now set to begin on January 28th. And these charges involve another family member. Stanley Dishon is also waiting trial for the 1999 murder of his niece, Jessica. And now we're hearing some of the evidence in that case.
The case remained unresolved for 15 years until a prisoner came forward with critical information. He alleged that Jessica's uncle, Stanley Dishon, had admitted to being responsible for her passing. Stanley had a history of inappropriate behavior and was already serving time in prison for related charges.
Tell me about how he killed her.
He got an argument with her in her backyard, wherever they lived at, and he started choking her. Then he went in the house and got a scarf, and he said after she had died, he knew she was dead. Then he started cutting her up.
So how did he get her around?
He, the best he could as it was, and he had to dismember her, is what he told me. Then he left her and ended up leaving her in the woods, by the road, by the river.
The investigation was reopened and unsettling details emerged. Stanley Dishon had mistreated Jessica over the years and feared she might disclose what had happened. On the morning of September 10th, he confronted Jessica as she was heading to school. After an argument, he forcibly took her. Jessica was held in a shed near her home for 3 days before her life was tragically ended. Final Justice 2015.
Drove over there that morning. We have evidence that you drove over there that morning. You drove to the school. She wasn't there.
Oh, no.
You drove to the house. You had been having sex with her.
Oh, no.
She was going to tell on you.
Oh, no.
You and she got into an argument.
Nope.
Then you choked her.
Nope.
And then you took her. And you dumped her in the river bottoms.
Oh, no. Every minute of that's a lie.
You're cooked.
I don't care what you got.
Right.
I did not do anything to harm my niece.
Right now, it's the difference between you getting the needle and you getting life.
After 16 years, the Jessica Dishon murder case is closed.
Today, her uncle Stanley Dishon admitted to the murder, but there is more. Along with pleading guilty to manslaughter in Jessica's death, he also took a plea deal relating to other child sex assault cases. WLKY's Erica Coghill was there and joins us now with the details. Erica?
Well, Rick, Vicki, Jessica's mother and father were in court today, along with several other relatives, all visibly emotional as Stanley pleaded guilty to killing his niece. He still says he's innocent, but his attorney says because of all the evidence against him, he thought it would be in his best interest to take the deal.
Guilty or found guilty.
Today's a very sad day because Stanley Dishon in court made an admission that he took the life of Jessica. She was a 17-year-old. Didn't need to die that way.
In 2015, Stanley Dishon was finally charged and sentenced to 20 years in prison after accepting an Alford plea. A plea where the defendant does not admit guilt, but acknowledges that the evidence is sufficient for a conviction. However, Jessica's family expressed their dissatisfaction with the sentence, feeling that it was far too lenient for the severity of the crime Stanley committed.
Well, it took about 17 years of my life away from me. When he killed my daughter. And I said from the day one, when the man was caught that killed my daughter, I would see him hanged. And that's what I meant. I want to know why he did it.
Well, for one thing, no, my daughter, but any chance of having grandchildren, I feel like I'm deprived of any grandchildren that she could have gave me. And there's a hole in my heart that can never be filled.
Conclusion. The case of Jessica Dishon is not just a heartbreaking story of a young life tragically cut short, but also a powerful reminder of society's responsibility to protect children and ensure that justice is served against those who commit heinous acts. After 15 years of relentless efforts, justice was finally achieved, even though it came late. We hope this story not only provides you with a deeper understanding of the case, but also evokes empathy and awareness about the importance of protecting vulnerable individuals in our communities. It serves as a reminder that justice must always prevail, no matter how long it takes. Thank you for taking the time to watch today's video. If you found this content meaningful, please leave a like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel to explore more compelling stories with us. We'll see you in the next video. Wishing you all a peaceful and meaningful day ahead.